we can. Recording in progress.
Recording in progress.
And you can hear my voice well?
Yes, I can.
Okay, good. Okay. So I'm using the Yeti microphone. Okay, so are you studying voice now?
Yeah, I'm studying voice now. And what was I gonna say? I also have the Blue Yeti mic. I know that wasn't part of that,
Good,
but
good, good.
yeah, I am studying.
How long have you been singing?
Um, I like to say my whole life, but training I started at like 16.
And for what was your desire as far as what the kind of singing you wanted to do?
Um, Broadway. I love musical theater. That's where I mostly do most of my singing, but I've also done like legit as well. Um, but
Legit
mostly
is legit is what?
opera. Like I've done some opera, but not enough.
Broadway is just as legitimate as opera
Yeah, this is
is.
this is true.
The only singing that they probably considered not legitimate is pop singing. And of
Yeah,
course, that's the one where you make the most money.
right.
So, so it is legitimate as well.
True. Yeah.
So, have you ironed out a lot of the things in your voice that you were not happy with, or do you still have a lot of things that you want to improve that you're not, are you areas of your voice that you're not comfortable with?
Yeah. My breathe. I still work on my breathing and my placement. I think it's more of like I overthink a lot, so it's something I'm still beating out of myself. Like, stop overthinking. But I kind of have been wanting to go a little more of a richer tone, or um, I sing. My voice is very bright when I sing, so it's like I wanted to like deepen it a bit, have a different color to it. But
Well, we'll
not to.
see how bright it is. We'll see how bright it is. And I'm a believer in using vowel modification
Okay.
to effect vowel modification can do a lot of things
Yeah.
because I believe you fake it until you make it. You sing vowels. I mean, that's what we are. We are air converters. We convert air into sound. And what are we converting to sound? Vowels, because we can only make an assortment of sounds. The mouth and the teeth and the tongue are only able to form and shape certain sounds that are possible. So we've learned to color those sounds and to play with them in the sense of altering them so that we can make the sounds less tense. Tension is our enemy. So
Yeah.
when we relieve our we try to relieve our tension as much as we can. And the irony of it is that even though we're trying to relieve tension, that doesn't mean that we fall asleep or that we're totally relaxed. You have to have a certain firmness to your singing, which is surrounded by looseness. You're firm in the core, and then you loosen up around the edges. Because if you're not loose around the edges, the voice is tense. It tends to sharp. It tends to get stuck, and it tends to create pain or over time abrasion in the voice, which will lead to having a sore throat, having laryngitis, and things like that. At the worst, that's the worst case scenario. So anyway, I'm a believer in relieving tension by using vowel modification, and we can deal with that. So I just want to hear just some basic stuff. We start off with a very relaxed thing on exercise on the low end. Ray. And this is, of course, in your octave. I'm a bass, so I can't sing up here. Who are you? Ray, Ray. So we sing Ray, me, Ray, and sing through. Everything is elongated. The vowels we sing are smeared like they're made of taffy. Ray. We're not singing Ray. We don't open our mouth. Ray, Ray.
Okay.
Okay, so in your octave.
Okay. Re mi.
Well, okay, you wanted to get it over with.
I was making sure he's correct. I need to stop overthinking. Okay.
Yeah, okay. We're not speeding. This is not we're not running on hot coals here. This is relaxed. You got to relax. So you have to pretend I'm not here.
Okay.
That's the thing. Pretend I'm not here. You're doing this. You're standing in your living room and you just feel like doing this. You're watching the dog outside, watching the cars go by, and you're gonna just you're gonna phonate. I call it phonating when we do our exercises. Right.
Okay. Bring me. Oh, keep going. Oh, sorry. Bring me.
Hold on. Wait a minute. It was just something on my screen that I had to click on.
Bring me. Bring. Oh, sorry. Bring me.
Yeah, and sing me. You're just letting it go.
Me.
You want this to end. You want it to finish. You don't want to stay on the tones. Each tone is a moment in life. Okay, we don't just bounce off of it. It's like that's like not singing the tone. It's like you see a when you ever been when you're a kid and some kind of a bird ends up in your backyard. Like one time I had an owl in the backyard, and my mother ran over. She said, "Come take a look. There's an owl in the backyard." Wow, that's how we have to treat the tones that we're singing.
Okay.
You know, like each one of them is like that tone will never come again. You'll never sing that tone again. It's gone.
Right.
So you know you'll never eat that hamburger again.
True.
So enjoy it while you're eating it. Okay. So relax.
Okay.
Rain me. See, I held it really long time. I kept going. Ray. I don't want to leave the tones. I don't want to leave that Ray, but I have to. I'm saying goodbye, my friend Ray. Now I'm going to go to the next tone. Go ahead,
Okay.
Ray.
Bring me.
That's better now. Better. Yeah, you tried. Okay, go ahead.
Bring me.
Doesn't that feel better?
Yeah.
Other than rushing through it?
Yeah.
Ray.
Sorry. I'm just trying to hear it.
Major scale.
Bring me.
Okay. Well, you wanted to go back to your prior habits, but you stuck it out at the end and you did it. Okay. But this is about relaxation. This is an exercise to get you started where you don't worry about anything. You just sort of letting the voice live for a little bit. Just relaxed.
Okay.
So we're gonna do. Can you hear that? Can you hear the tones?
A little bit. I think a little bit louder. I think it's because because my voice interjects or something and I miss a tone. So that's why I'm like, I overthink because I miss it. Zoom voice lessons. Yeah. What? I can't hear you now.
Can you hear that?
Yes.
Well or badly?
That's better.
So I want you to sing in your octave. Good. Everything's herky jerky. It should be quick like that. And you look like you're waiting for the bus.
Okay.
You're bored. Are you bored? Am I boring you?
No,
Oh,
you're not
okay.
boring me. I think it's because I'm thinking of what the notes are and I need to stop that. Okay.
Do you have a TV dinner in the oven?
Oh,
Okay, you're not worrying about a pizza in the is a pizza delivery coming?
no.
Okay, all right. So yeah, yeah, do it fast like that. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Good,
Yeah. Yeah.
good,
Yeah.
very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, now when you go up now, it's not a anymore. Go yeah, We're gonna modify the vowel to not Okay. Yeah, drop your jaw. Drop your jaw. Good. Yes. Ah. Very good. Is that a high note for you?
No.
Okay, because you want to flat a little bit on it.
Yeah.
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 Here's the trick. Here's the trick. You got to think of you have to think of a wider open, darker vowel, but you have to think bright. You're thinking, see, what you think matters. See, the tiny little bit, when you think brighter, even though you don't change anything, the tone becomes brighter. It's a very funny process that your brain does, but just thinking about something can make the tone change a little bit.
Okay.
So when you go up there, don't think falling down or falling forward or low, or think yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Now we're off. Now we're off.
Now we're off.
Yeah. Yeah. Good. You're sharping now. Go ahead. Yeah. But don't get off the voice. Now you were just off the voice. So, and with the hand is I'm not saying anything about it because it's sort of helping you, but it's just not good. It's not good to do that kind of stuff because then you'll be. I mean, do you perform? I mean, have you performed anywhere?
I have. I've performed at like school with Rosemary Serrano, and then I've done a few concerts, but I haven't done like that's really it.
Because when you do this kind of stuff with your hands and all that, it tends to happen on stage. And it's almost subconscious because you're doing it in lessons and you don't learn to keep your hands to your side. And that doesn't mean you have to be like a robot and be rigid and everything, but you can't rely on your hands to help you do what the voice needs to do on its own. Okay. So and also the speed of the exercise, it's important because we're trying to do repetitions. So I don't know if you play any sports at all. No. Okay. Well, in order to play a sport, like when you play football, those guys who play football, they don't just play the game to play the game. They have to go into the gym and lift weights, and that's what enables them to play the game. So what I'm saying is singing doesn't necessarily make you a singer. Singing a song over and over and over again doesn't teach you how to sing the song if you keep doing the same mistakes over and over and over again. So what teaches you how to be a better singer is doing exercises like I'm giving you and do them in rapid fire. And then you go and sing. And then all of a sudden, because you've been pushing your range and pushing your low end and pushing your high end, all of a sudden your singing is going to be better.
Yeah.
without singing the same song 50 times the same way, you see? So so I'm gonna do A-I-A. A-I-A.
Okay.
A-I-A.
Eh.
With that, stop with the hand. Stop with the hand.
Okay.
Yeah. I bet you can sing without your hand. I bet it's possible that it can happen.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, I'm making.
It's an octave.
Okay.
Beautiful. Do it faster, faster, faster. Wonderful. Yes. Good. Good.
Oh, what was it?
Yeah. Ah. No, A-I-A. A-I. Now when you hit the high note now, sing ah, not ah, but ah, like law, not la, law. A-I-A. Go ahead. Good. More. A. A. A-I-A. A. A-I. No, now we're way off. Now we're way off. See, that's why you have to do this with speed, because we have to go, it's the same pattern over and over again. It's just that we're shifting the top vowel from an A to an ah as we go higher, because it's going to relax your jaw and you'll be able to sing the ah. And it's what I call an acoustic illusion. You've heard of optical illusions, right?
Yeah.
Well, there's acoustic illusion, which means that when you sing a high note and you sing A, you want to sing A, you can't sing A up there. It's too tight. It's going to grab your jaw. So you drop your jaw and you sing A, ah, but because the note's very high and it's vibrating fast, to the listener, it sounds like you're singing A. It's an illusion. And it's meant to make you feel better when you're singing up on top, and it relaxes your top. So let's go down and then we're going to go up again. A, ah, A. No, your octave.
Oh.
You're stopping and thinking too much in between each. You got to just go.
Okay.
Go. Ba 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 ba, like a robot, like a machine. Good. Now see how much better it was? Easier, better.
Yeah.
Now you got to work out. That's a workout. That's like lifting a few weights with your voice, doing that.
Yeah.
It's fast. Don't think about it. It's like running across hot coals. The only way you can do it is just to fly, man.
Okay.
Fly across those coals. All right.
All right.
So let's see. It's 11:25. Maybe we can do one more exercise, and then we can talk about your repertoire. Maybe
Okay.
work on a song or something like that.
Sure.
So
yeah.
so I want you to do knee. You're gonna do knee, like I need you. Knee. Knee, 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 knee. And try to feel there's gonna be, you can hum with a M, and you can hum with an N, and it makes your nose hairs vibrate.
Okay.
Oh, I'm gonna make myself sneeze. Up here with your nose. You want to feel that because that creates focus of direction of sound. Some people, when they sing in they're directing their sound in the wrong place. It falls right out of their mouth and it hits the floor in front of them, as opposed to like a fountain. Your nose is the center of a speaker. If you look at a speaker, there's a tweeter and a subwoofer and a woofer and all that stuff. Your face is a speaker. The sound is coming up from your trachea and it's vibrating everything in here. Your sinuses behind your eyes, behind your nose, but your nose is the center. And that's where you want the sound to shoot out like that. So
Okay.
that's why you do so nee 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 nee. So nee 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 nee.
Nee, 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 nee.
Good.
Nee, 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 nee. Nee, 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 nee. Nee, 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 nee.
Good.
Nee, 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 nee. Nee, 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 nee. Nee, 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 nee.
Good.
Nee, 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 nee. Nee, 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 nee.
Right.
Nee, 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 nee.
Go ahead.
Nee, 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 nee. Nee, 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 nee.
Good. Now, do you play a piano at all?
No.
Do you know what your range is?
Um, I think from what I last got told, an F3 to a G6.
Okay. Well, at least you're making an effort to know what your range is, because many singers ignore that, and then and they don't know what key they're singing in either.
Right.
And then they try to sing something, and one day it sounds okay, and the next day they sing it again and they crack, and they say, "Why did I crack?" Well, you didn't know you were singing it 2 steps higher than you did yesterday. They don't know what's going on. I taught children at the John Robert Powers talent agency, little kids, and the kids would just get up and start singing. They'd sing just whatever. They'd sing a song, which is cute and everything. But I'd say, "Well, little Johnny, do you know what key you're in?" "No, I don't know." Then he'd crack the next day, and I'd say, "Well, that's because you didn't start on the same note today that you did yesterday." He didn't know. He didn't know the difference. You see. So anyway, so it's good that you know your range. And so, what part of your voice are you least comfortable with?
um, Probably I think my belt. I mean, I live in my mix, but my belt is like I kind of get scared that I'm using my throat instead of like actually belting. So I think it's more of the belt, the deep belt.
Yeah, it's a difficult, because obviously in opera we're not big proponents of belting.
Right.
I mean, we use natural technique in order to, because the belting sounds sort of strange, but it sounds very modern and contemporary, obviously, because everybody uses it in Broadway. As long as you're aware of when you're exposing the chords, when you're spreading too much, you can do a healthy belt. I believe that healthy belting is
Yeah.
possible
Absolutely.
with a bit of a cover over it, but you can't go full out Ethel Merman. There's no business like show business like that. Yeah, 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 yeah. You have to. There's no instead of no, or no business. So anyway, what song are you working on that's giving you trouble?
Ooh, what's giving me trouble?
Is there a phrase of a song or any particular word of a song that you're having a hard time with?
Yeah, so I've had Home from Beauty and the Beast in my book for a while, and I use that for a bunch of auditions, and uh I want to make it better and better each time. Um so I've been going the more like mixed vibrato and like legit like the classical side of it, but I wanted to try belting it at some points. Like some of the words are like when that I have a hard time. Like the word when gives me a hard time. Um
Well, I have to hear it in context of
Yeah,
what you're doing.
sure.
The thing is that I mean, unless you have an accompaniment track that you can
Mhm.
sing through. I mean, I don't even mind if you have a pitch pipe and you know the tone that you start on. You just play the pitch pipe. That's what I do. I have a pitch pipe, so I
Nice.
just play. You should get yourself a pitch pipe. You know, costs like $15, and then you can just play the tone. And if you have good relative pitch, which I think you do, you can just sing the phrase without having an accompaniment, but you'll be in the right key. As long as you got to find out what key you're in. You have to know that the first tone you start on is an E or an A or a G or whatever. Otherwise, you're always going to have an accompaniment. Like you know the melody, right? You've
Yeah.
already okay. So once you know the melody, all you need is the starting tone, and then you could sing probably almost the whole song without any accompaniment.
Right.
And you
Yeah.
should actually. And also, I don't know if you study by listening to other singers, but that is not the best way to learn a song because I don't know. Do you do that?
Not really. Sometimes if I listen to the song, I try to learn it by the karaoke itself first. But if I need help, I'll refer to it a little bit. But
What I'm getting at is that a lot of times people try to sing songs like the ones I hate are the ones who try to sing like Whitney Houston, and they try to sound like Whitney Houston. I mean, it's like you're not Whitney Houston. You're never going to be Whitney Houston, and you can't take every little embellishment and every little eccentricity of the performance and try to copy it. That's like somebody trying to sing Michael Jackson. Right? You're not going to be Michael Jackson. You're not going to sing like Michael Jackson. So why are you even trying to do that? But they want to sing the song. So some songs are only meant to be sung by the performers that recorded them.
right,
They were never meant to be sung by anybody else.
right,
But the Broadway songs, of course, are general. So if you're listening to a particular Broadway singer and you're trying to copy every single nuance of what they do, then it's not going to work. You have to make it your own.
yeah,
So do you have a phrase of a
yeah.
particular song?
I have the accompaniment, or I can sing it on my own
Yeah,
separate.
but how do you know what note to start on?
I I go through it in my brain for a second. So
I don't think that's very reliable. You're relying on imperfect relative pitch in order to find it. I can't even do that. If you ask me right now, and I've been singing some of these arias for 25 years, if you ask me to sing you the tone of my beginning tone of my aria, I would not be able to do it for you. I would have to go to the piano and play that E flat, and then okay, there it is. Okay, so and it has to exactly be. It's not good enough that you're only a half a pitch off.
right,
It's because if you're half a pitch off too high, all of a sudden your high note is going to become twice as difficult because the higher the tone goes, the more okay, when you're singing in your speaking range, most of the tones are equal as far as tension and difficulty. If you know what I'm saying, but as you go higher, each tone gets harder and harder because it's higher and higher. So if you start singing in the wrong key and you sing the high note and it's one tone higher than what you're used to singing, all of a sudden your voice is going to be uncomfortable.
right.
So you always have to know what key you're singing in and what note to start on. So do you have like an accompaniment to that, like on your iPhone?
Yeah, I can grab it up. I had it
Okay.
on my computer. Hold on one second. Where'd it go? Oh, sorry. Skip. Do you want that section or the whole song?
Section. We don't have time to sing through
Cool.
the whole song, but or like maybe the phrase before that, leading up to it, because usually that's the problem. See, usually if you have a problem with a phrase, it's usually the phrase before that that sets you up to make a mistake, as opposed to being the phrase itself.
Okay.
So go ahead and
Okay. Let me get the volume. Is that a good volume or should I turn it
yes,
up?
that's good.
Okay. Cool. Is this home? Am I here for a day or forever? Shut away until who knows when. It was that. Just that section. The when.
Well, the when sounded great.
Oh, okay.
But the issue that I had with it was that obviously you were singing it like someone was standing in the next room telling you what the words were. You know, you have to sing it like you're performing it on stage. You're communicating something. You were singing it like you were reading your grocery list.
Okay.
It has to be expressive, you see. But it's very well sung, and I don't think any of those tones are going to give you trouble. Are you saying that people expect you to sing the word when differently?
Yeah.
Why?
I think I've been doing it more like vibrato, but I mean I wanted to try it more open and belty.
Yeah.
So it's more of
See,
a me preference.
yeah, I mean, I don't know if, I mean, that's not the way you would sing it if you were standing in front of a jury and you were auditioning it, right? I mean, you were singing it like, I'm listening to myself, I'm listening to myself, I'm listening to myself, I'm listening to myself, you know, sing it, let it go, you know, sing it,
Okay.
sing it. So do it again. Why don't you do it from the beginning then? Why don't you go ahead? We got time then. Why don't you start singing it? But sing it like you're all dressed up and you're at the theater on Broadway and you're singing for people and they're going to give you a job if you sing it the right way.
Okay. Cool. Yes, I made the choice. For Papa, I will stay. But I don't deserve to lose my freedom in this way, you monster. If you think that what you've done is right, well then you're a fool. Think again. Is this where I should learn to be happy? Never dreamed that a home could be dark and cold. I was told every day in my childhood, even when we grow old, home will be where the heart is. Never were words so true. My heart's far, far away. Home is true. What I'd give to return to the life that I knew daily, and to think I complained of that dull provincial town. Is this home? Am I here for a day or forever? Shut away from the world until who knows when. No, but then, as my life has been altered once, it can change again. Build higher walls around me, change every lock and key. Nothing less, nothing holds all of me. My heart's far, far away, home and
Hey, fantastic, fantastic. Now, my critical feedback would be that everything that was small is too small.
Okay.
Everything that was subtle was too subtle.
Okay.
So like you said the word homestead or home something. Home in the beginning. Something about home.
Is this home?
Yeah. Oh, there's another. There were a few words there.
Okay.
I should have been writing them down. Actually, I didn't write them down, but there were a few words that you were speaking, and they were not. They have to be more crystallized, crystal clear. When you
Okay.
because when you pulled back, like when you're being now, that would be okay maybe if you were recording it in a studio with a microphone in front of yourself. But if you were on stage and you had one of those little microphones like this, mumbly. It sounded a little mumbly, you know. When I know, and I know that you're. See, if I sing, okay, I'm going to make up some words, but I'm going to say, yes, I know. Yes, I know you were standing over there, as opposed to, yes, I know. Yes, I know you were over there. You see, one is much more crystallized, and I told you, and I can sing softly like this. I can speak like this to you, and I can tell you what I mean. That's right. As opposed to singing like this, where it's a little darker. You see, you were the diction of it was much less crystallized than it could be. So work a little harder on the softer parts to make yourself understood, as though you're speaking to someone that's behind a bush, behind a wall, that they can understand you. Once you got into the louder stuff, and perfect but beautiful notes, you sang when good, the last note was great, you straight toned, and then you went into the vibrato, which is exactly what you should be doing, obviously, for musical theater, for Broadway. I don't see how there's no reason for you to do anything differently than with the word when. I think it was beautiful, fine, and all that. My only criticism of the whole piece is just that you got to be more understood when you're singing softly. It's almost like you were singing a little too softly.
Okay.
Sing a little more full, as long as you make it sound as though you're speaking like, hey, this is just between you and me. Let me tell you, just between you and me, it's time for us to go, and all that. And then I get bigger, I get louder, but I can go back like this, and I can talk very softly, and you can understand every single word I say. You see,
Yeah.
back and forth. You can get louder and still have the same exact type of diction and be understood with both. So fantastic. Oh yeah. I think that's enough for us. I mean, we don't have to work on anything. I mean, unless you have something else you want to work on, another song. I mean, it seems like I like the fact that you're being critical of yourself.
Yeah.
You're being overly critical of yourself. I mean, the singing was much better than I thought it was going to be, given the amount of criticism that you gave yourself. I said, boy, she's really got to do some work there. But other than the word when, what else did you consider? Anything else in that song belting? That last note was not belting either, was it?
No, I
You sang it.
Yeah. I mean, I from I don't know. I think it just sits in a range that's very mixy for me and very like just comfortable. So I just kind of just do it. But so I think
Well,
when
let's go back to that opening. Go back to
okay,
that opening again, and just try to sing it more like you're speaking to someone that you don't want other people to hear.
okay,
You're talking to somebody like, next to a casket.
okay,
You know what I mean? Like you're talking to someone that's in secret, in private. I want to tell you something that okay. You don't have to go to the part where you're singing the high note. That's good. I just want to hear the soft stuff.
okay, cool. Yes, I made the choice. For Papa, I will stay. But I don't deserve to lose my freedom in this way, you monster.
Now, see, monster. I would say that more. Monster.
Monster.
I mean, well, okay, that's a little too big. See, it's a it's somewhere in between. But you see, you threw away the first syllable of monster. It was too full. It was too subtle. It was like, but you just let it sort of fall out of your mouth, as opposed to monster, and hum the M a little bit. Monster, as opposed to monster. It just bleh. It was
Okay.
dead when it came out of your mouth. Every single syllable has to have some kind of care given to it. You have to make a choice. None of the syllables can come out of your mouth like a throwaway, like, oh, well, whatever comes out, comes out. They have to be with intention, you see, and make it soft. So you could do it very softly, just as soft as you did it, but with more intention. The softness has more of a grab. We hear it and we understand it, and we're also more interested in it because you're interested in it. If you're disinterested in a phrase, we're going to be disinterested in a phrase. You see?
Yeah.
So can you start it without that whole opening?
Sure. Okay.
Just a few seconds later. Just a few seconds later.
Okay. Ooh. Oh, sorry. But I don't deserve to lose my freedom in this way, you monster.
You didn't hum the M. That's what I would do. I'd say monster. But I don't deserve. But I don't but I don't deserve. See, I can sing but without I don't have to sing on but I don't deserve. But I don't deserve, you monster. You see, I can be very intense and still be quiet, in the sense that it's conversational. Because obviously we're setting up the fact that you're going to open up your voice later and you're going to sing, okay, good. But in order to, because we want to be surprised by you. See, that's the whole thing. It's a surprise. Because we start hearing you. We know you can sing as the audience, but when you start, but I don't deserve to tap into the you monster, and I don't have this, but then I can sing, and then I'm gonna go back to this again. The specificity of it. So try it again, yeah.
Okay. But I don't deserve to lose my freedom in this way, you monster. Yes?
Go ahead.
Oh, keep going. I'm sorry.
Keep going. I want to hear the next phrase.
Okay. I'll just go back real quick. Sorry.
That's why it's easier to have a pianist.
Yeah. But I don't deserve to lose my freedom in this way, you monster. If you think that what you've done is right, well then you're a fool. Think again.
Okay. So you pulled back. I think you pulled back too far again. Again. You should have sung through again. You pulled back too far. It was a little shocking because you open up the voice and then you pulled back so far. And I don't like this a fool. It's got to be a fool, You have to get that F. Because
Okay.
you're not holding your F. You're not holding back your F enough. And then it sounds like a fool. This is my friend Aful Janagarian, but it's a fool. A fool. You think that I'm a fool. You see, you're singing, you think that I'm a fool. You think that I'm a fool. A fool. You think that I'm a fool. Make the word understood is what I'm saying. Because it sounds like it's the word AFOOL as opposed to AFOOL. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So yeah, so then you opened up, and there's another quiet section in that song, isn't there? Later in the middle.
Yeah. Is this home?
Yeah. Can you start there?
Sure. Is this home? Is this where I shall learn to be happy? Never dreamed that a home could be dark and cold. I was told every day in my childhood, even when we grow old, home will be where the heart is. Never were words so true.
Okay. Childhood was the word I was thinking of before. Childhood. Childhood. I mean, basically, what I told you about the first part is exactly what I would tell you about the second part, is that it's too soft spoken, and it needs to be spoken with more diction, more gesticulation, a little more specificity of each consonant and each vowel. Now, it's going to feel awkward at first when you try to implement that, because it's going to sound like you're robotic, but it's not, because you create a sense of flow. Like when we did the exercise where you go all the way up and all the way down and all the way up and all the way down, and you sing all the way through like a noodle, like a spaghetti. It's one string of spaghetti. So each phrase of that is one thought. It's one arc. And even though you're accentuating things, I sang it like one line. And that we go to where the childhood is. We're going to have our childhood now. I just drew one line with the pen. I didn't draw and then stop and then draw and then stop. I draw the whole line through. So am I making any sense to you at all?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So when you sing the phrase, each individual phrase needs to be a sentence that you're cognizant of. But when you're singing it, don't sing it under your breath like this, like you're just mumbling to somebody, you see? Because right now it's not accentuated enough. It has to be more communicated. You're communicating. I know you're trying to make it sound like it's just between you and me, but still the person in the front row, the person in the back of the theater needs to understand what it is you're telling them. So that's good. That's a very good song for you. And I can see you've worked hard on it, because you know it like the back of your hand, and you don't have to worry about the words. So now it's just a matter of moving the knobs around and fine tuning this word here and this word there. But I wouldn't worry about the big stuff. The big stuff sounds fine, and I wouldn't worry about the belting either, because I think it sounds good. So just communicate more.
Okay.
All right.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Oh yeah. Okay. And if you want to work again, just let me know. Text me, whatever, if you got some repertoire, and certainly more in person if I'm in New York.
Yeah.
It would be good to work and have a pianist and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, all right. I wish you a fine day.
You as well. Thank you.
Okay. Have a good one.
You too.
Bye
Bye.
bye.
Bye.